Hello again, team. Thanks for joining me here. We're grinding through this project and making some real headway. We got one last task before we submit our drawings back up to the share file and ultimately back to the client. So thank you for your due diligence on all the automated Lisp routines, on all the manual grind of the tasks, the QA to QC, making the PDF drawings, and then finally doing the layer mapping. So if you've done the layer mapping, you have one final task. And we're going to take advantage of all the time that you've done with that layer mapping, and we're about to see what happens here. Okay, so this is a drawing that I'm working on. I've told you in the past, do not run this convert to layer standards Lisp routine because we're not ready for it. We were awaiting that layer mapping, okay? I'm going to show you how all this comes together. Once you've done the layer mapping, there's going to be a few steps that you have to take in order for this to work properly. But what it is, it says, essentially it says, hey, if you have this layer name, map it to the one that we've already told you to map it to, okay? So this Lisp routine, GLMVLtrans, okay? You can see at the bottom of the screen there. That's the one that does the magic here. So let me show you what it is, okay? So I'll go ahead and run it. I want you to pay attention to the layer screen down here where my cursor is. It says that in the bottom left-hand corner, there's 148 layers. Okay, so once we have done all the mapping, sometimes there are several layers that merge onto the same one layer. So you're going to see this number drop. You're going to see this number drop sometimes, okay? Here the Lisp routine has completed. It took less than 30 seconds to complete. And that's due to the due diligence that you guys have put in with that layer mapping, okay? So from 148, it went down to 168, so less than half, right? And if I look at my list, all of the layers fall within the guidelines of NetApp, as you can see here, okay? So that's what this whole thing is about, that layer mapping. And in order for this to work properly, I need to show you how this is set up, okay? So allow me to show you the Lisp routine for the transformation, okay? So what it's doing, guys, is it says, hey, we have a big list of 2,800 or so layers that come from NetApp. That's this line right here, okay? And you're going to see that it says the file name, it's actually opening a file called NetApp Layer Standards, okay? It's opening up a file. Now for me, it's different because I'm working off my hard drive. You guys are going to be working off your hard drive. So the path is going to be different. Make sure that the path, wherever you save this file, make sure that the path matches. That's your first step here, okay? You only have to do this once, and you have to do it to this glmvltrans.lisp, okay? You open it up with Notepad, and then you can edit this file path, okay? I'll show you where to find this text file. Next, down at the bottom, you're going to see this second file, okay? And this one is called DeleteMe, okay? It's kind of an odd name, I know. But you're going to use this over and over for each drawing. I'm going to show you that process later. Again, download the file to the same folder. Make sure they're in the same folder. And then replace this particular file path. Replace that in the Lisp file. Open up the GLMVTrans, okay? I'll show you how I do that with Notepad. Open up that particular file wherever you have that Lisp file located. Mine happens to be in this Lisp folder, okay? Now, with Notepad, you can change it from opening TXT files to all files. And then you'll see your Lisp routines, okay? The one you're looking for is GLMVLtrans. And again, you're gonna look for that line. Now sometimes you may have the word wrap turned on and it's hard to read. So just go to format and turn the word wrap off. What I mean by that is if you have a smaller window kind of like this, all the stuff starts to wrap around and it's hard to find the file, the location of the file. So if you turn your word wrap off, then just go and look for that particular file and replace the location of the file, and then further down below, you'll see that second option again, and you're looking for this file path right here. So wherever you save these two files, make sure that you replace these files, the paths rather, in the GLMVTrans Lisp, okay? So again, open it in Notepad, find these two lines, replace the file path, okay? Where are you going to find these two files? Well, they're in the share file. So if you go to the project's share file, you're going to see the support files directory, and it's DeleteMe.txt, and it's NetAppLayerStandards.txt. Take these both down, save them on your folders somewhere, and then, as I mentioned, open the Lisp routine GLMVTrans and change those two file paths to coincide with wherever you're saving them. That's the first step. You only have to do this one time. That's it. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of the the layer mapping that you have done, rather. So you're going to want to open up your project file, your Excel worksheet, and open it up to the particular tab that you're looking to create. Okay, so for example, if we were doing, let's say Charlotte. Okay, here's an example for Glenn. Charlotte. You're going to open up the new versus old mapping Charlotte tab. You're going to open that one up, and we're going to create a new tab. Okay, I'll show you how this works. All right, let's get to Charlotte. So if you're trying to find your tab and it's a pain in the neck to click on the arrows, right? So if you're trying to find it and it's way at the end, a faster way might be to right click on here to get the activate window, and then you can just find it in the list. I find this a lot faster, especially when there's a lot of tabs, as you can see. All right, so Glenn, again, like Glenn's example here for Charlotte, okay? He's already done the layer mapping. We've got the old versus the new, okay? In order to get this set up properly, we have to export this as a CSV. I'm going to show you how I prefer to do it. I want you guys to do it this way as well. If you're on the tab that you're working on, okay, ensure that you're on that tab. Click the plus button down here. It's going to create a new tab, a new sheet here. And what we're going to do, this is drop dead simple. You just go grab the two columns here, okay? Go grab the two columns, copy this, and in the next sheet, go ahead and just paste that information as values, okay? So from here, now we can export this, okay? File, export. We're going to change the file type. We're going to make this CSV right here, okay? This CSV right here. All right, and then hit Save As. It's going to want to save somewhere on your hard drive. And let's just put it in a folder that I've been using a lot lately. Now, I'm diligent with this, and I give it not just this vague net app layer mapping, I usually give it the project name. So I'll just put a little space and a dash here, and I'll put Charlotte. All right. It's going to give you this warning about, hey, you're not it doesn't support multiple sheets. It's fine. It's because it's saving this as a CSV. Remember, we're no longer working on the conglomerated file, that NetApp layer mapping file. We're now working on the CSV. At this point, you can just close this out entirely, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to save it. All right, so almost there. So what you want to do is in Notepad, go ahead and open that file. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll open We'll open the file. Now you're going to see that it's saved as a CSV, so we can't see it. You're going to want to change it at this point back to the star dot star, that wildcard character. And then I'm going to find my layer mapping that I just created, the CSV file. And here it is, NetApp layer mapping Charlotte. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open this up. And here is the list that we need. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll simply select all, Control A, so I've got everything. I'll copy this, and now I need to put this, and I need to replace this into the DeleteMe contents. Okay, so now I'll go open. Maybe what I'll do is I'll open another notepad here. Yeah, this is a good idea. I'll open another notepad. Okay, and then I'll open up that particular file, that DeleteMe file. It's deleteme.txt. So whatever's in here right now is for my current project that I just ran, guys. The one that I just ran, you saw all those layers change. Now I'm doing a different project, a different building. This isn't, you'll only have to do this per building. So if there's multiple files, multiple AutoCAD files in each building, you only have to do this once. Okay, that's the beauty of how we set this up. So for example, the Sunnyvale project has 20 drawings in it. I only have to do this one time, the DeleteMe portion here, okay? So we're gonna take the DeleteMe, we're gonna take all the information from the Charlotte mapping, and we're going to first delete everything that's in the DeleteMe file, and then paste that in here. Okay, so only the contents from Charlotte are in here. Okay, and then I just save this, and now I'm ready to go run this in Charlotte. Okay, and I can close all this stuff out in AutoCAD. I can go open Charlotte. Now, Glenn, I've got my own copy, so you're going to want to do this too for Charlotte. So I'll leave that up to you, buddy, but I'm just showing you the example here. Okay. So again, you're going to see that we've got all of the old layer names here. And I'll be able to run the LTrans here, and it's looking and it's doing what it needs to with all those files. Okay, so that's how you do it. The trick here is you're going to have to do that every time for the next one as well. Okay, so now that I'm done with this one, I'm going to move on to the next one. Alright, so that was Charlotte. We now have to do Edina. So again, I'll select that tab for Edina. I can see that it's all done here. This is great. And then I'll just make a new sheet. Okay, and then I'll go grab those two columns that are complete now. Just don't grab the headers there. Just grab the layers, the mapped layers. Put it in sheet 2. Okay. Okay, once this is done, again, this sheet, you want to export this sheet. So File, Export, change file type. You want a CSV file, okay? And again, just save it to your folder structure, wherever you have your folder structure. And I want mine in this particular folder. And then again, I name it something descriptive to keep it identified. So this is Edina. Okay, so I've saved the CSV file. And again, I'll go to Notepad. I will open that CSV file. Again, when you open a CSV file, you have to change the file extension. And now I'm looking for my Edina CSV file. Here it is. Again, just take the contents from here and copy those, replace whatever is in DeleteMe. All right, so here's the DeleteMe file, as you can see right here. Just select it all, delete that stuff, and then from the NetApp layer mapping that we've already done, copy it and paste it in here. Okay, save the file and just close it. So now we're ready for Adena. Okay, so now I'll go open that file and run the Lisp. So that part becomes repetitive. We just need to get it done on every single file. I'll leave that up to whoever that was assigned to. I'll leave that up to them to work on that. I'm looking at the layer names here. In my layer panel, lower left-hand corner, it says that there's 81 layers. Let me put my mouse cursor over there so you can see what I'm talking about. 81 total layers. The Lisp routine is currently running based off of what Glenn has already mapped. And as I mentioned, it just takes seconds, but all that hard work that you put into the layer trans, we're going to reuse it. Okay? So I'll leave the video here, guys. These are your instructions to take care of your layer translations from the old layer names to the new layer names. And let's just ensure that we get all of the drawings that have been assigned to you done. Okay? If you have any questions, if you need me to help you set it up, I will definitely do that. This is your video instructions, so thank you very much.